Hi kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today we are doing a video about what if I had to sell my entire knife collection except one. Which knife would I keep? Now before this, a little background. I've already done a July collection video. You can check it out on my channel. However, in that video, a few things were not there because they just arrived. Like this guy right here, this is a modern Kiridashi. The Civivi Rustic Gent was not in that video as well because this guy just arrived as well. And then earlier this year in January, I did another one of these, which knife would I keep if I could only keep one knife in my collection. So now, since I have an updated collection, here's an updated video. So we are now in July of 2020. A few things just came in. This guy came in, this guy came in, this guy came in, this guy came in, this guy came in ever since that video. So let's talk about which one I would sell first. Firstly, a couple of honorable mentions. This guy right here. This is the QSP Hawk in variable in Damascus steel. Really nice knife, has good action, nice and falsetty, good flipper action, good thumb stud action, very good detent, has a good weight, has nice wood skills. It actually has a nice smell. You have a very nice wood smell from it. Nice deep carry pocket clip. However, I am selling this guy. In fact, I have already sold this guy to my friend. Couple of reasons. The first of which is that this knife is a little bit too thick for my preference. I mean, the handles are a little bit thick, the blade stock's a little bit thick, the thickness behind the edge is a little bit thick. But the other thing that made me go over the edge, because I was kind of 50-50 with this guy, you can check out the full review. The thing that made me go over the edge to sell this knife is that I want to buy an anniversary present for my wife. And to do that, I needed X amount of money, and I found someone who would buy this knife for that X amount of money. So this guy is already out of there. Okay, this guy right here. Okay, so now, sorry, this guy right here. This guy right here. This is the Ganzo F754 440C blade with their G-lock, aka the non-patented axis lock. You have not a deep carry pocket clip, but a pretty nice spoon pocket clip right here. Overall, it's a nice knife, but as I got this guy is just a little bit too redundant to have in my day-to-day life. This guy is just a little bit of nicer carry, a little bit better steel, definitely lighter and thinner as well. So this guy right here comes out a little bit redundant, even though I still, in many ways, still like this knife. I think if you only have like 100 ringgit or 20 USD to spend, this is a really good knife to spend it on, along with other budget options out of Ganzo. Ganzo gets a bad rap for kind of copying designs, and I can see that, but their recent designs, they're coming out with more what you call it, more original or unique designs to their brand, so that's pretty good. Okay, so that's the end of the honorable mentions. This is what I have on my table so far. This is what you can call my everyday carry, what I would carry. Firstly, this is all completely live. I did not think about this so that I can be as authentic as possible. First thing I would sell or get rid of, I would get rid of maybe this guy. This guy, I believe, is a Higo modern Kiridashi. You can check out my first impressions video. It is my neck knife. It's my only neck knife that I have. It is actually given to me by thomastools.com.my. You can check out the link in the description box down below. It'll take you to the website where you can find this guy. Very good knife just to have on your neck. You can just carry it underneath your t-shirt. You pull it out, you have a full tang blade right there. We have a stainless steel. It is a chisel ground blade, and that chisel ground blade just means to me that it's not, it values being tough more than being sharp. Not the most comfortable knife to use because there's no finger grooves or whatever, and I always feel like there's a tendency for me to slip this finger off and then accidentally cut myself. But if you need a neck knife, this is a very cheap option for you to go. When I say cheap, I mean very affordable option for you to go. So this guy will be the first to go. Next up, I have here my first ever automatic knife. This is the Kershaw Launch 10. Really like this blade shape. This is an amazing blade shape. Okay, really like the ergonomics of this handle, even though it's really small, but all these finger grooves fit me perfectly. We have this perfect thumb ramp here, and definitely one of the sliciest blade I've ever had. This kind of hawk bill kind of brings this edge, this tip right here, to such a fine edge. This is the sharpest knife I've ever gotten. Possibly out of the box, definitely the sharpest point I've ever gotten. There are other knives that are equally as sharp, but this point here is the sharpest point I've ever gotten. And one thing I realized is that I love the size. A couple of things I realized. I love the size. Blade shape is fantastic. Ergonomics surprisingly good. The thing that keeps this out of the pocket for me is, number one, this pocket clip it doesn't have enough ramp, so to get this into the pocket is very difficult, and I can't get my finger under it either, so I'm having to do a little bit of uncomfortable pulling to get this up high enough for me to stick it in. Another thing I really like is I like one-handed opening and closing. It kind of has this little fidget factor that a lot of knives here have. One-handed opening, one-handed closing. This guy right here, you can open it one-handed. To close it one-handed, not only is this a little bit uncomfortable, kind of scary, but it's just more comfortable to be used as a two-handed closer. And every time I try to close it one-handed, I always feel like this tip of this hawk bill is going to catch the meat of my thumb right there. So this guy would be the next to go off. Another reason why I would sell this knife is that I can't really take it apart. There seems to be a lot of Loctite or something in there that's stopping me from taking it apart. I've tried to film the disassembly video and I couldn't, because I tried to unscrew it and I couldn't unscrew it. So there we go, this guy's gonna go off. Next up, we have here, let me just show this off. Let's take it out of the sleeve right here. This is the Civivi Rustic Gen I got from Outdoor Gears Malaysia. You can check out their Facebook page at Outdoor Gears Malaysia. Another Damascus steel, and I personally like this Damascus a little bit more than the QSP Hawk. Just a little bit more tightly rounded, a little bit more tightly weaved. You have some nice G10, really nice carbon fiber, nice pivot ring. It is a backlock with a half stop, and this knife actually has cut me more than any other knife. Last night you have 3 new cuts, 1, 2, 3, because it's a rear backlock. I press this and I try to flick it down, and when I flick it down, if you do it properly, you can kind of stop it in the half point here at the half stop. But sometimes if you have the finger on here for too long, you just keep going down and it'll hit you in the finger, which happens to me really often. It's probably happened to me about 6 or 7 times already. But I want to keep this knife around because this knife, it feels like I'm taming the beast. This is a beast to be tamed. Other than that, one problem I'm having right now is that I can't reassemble the knife properly. There is a little post here that the hole can't jump into. So everything else has fitted back in, and this one just won't come in properly. There's a couple of things I want to try right now. Maybe I can take the hole on the inside there and maybe like file it down a little bit so that there's a little bit more give, a little bit more leeway for the pin to go back into. But this is really annoying. Really want to settle that, but it's not going to be the next one I sell. The next one I sell is another fancy knife, which is this. This is the ZT0450CF. Sinkovich design from Zero Tolerance. It has the carbon fiber on one side, titanium on one side, coated DLC coated S35VN. Nice flipper, nice detent, relatively okay action. But you know, this is just one of those knives. This is my first ever grill knife. You can check out my full review. My first ever grill knife. I don't think that it's going to stay around for very much longer. I keep going back and forth between selling this or not, because it doesn't really give me as much joy as all these other knives do anymore. I don't know if it's because it's a pocket clip, or maybe I'm just bored of it. I'm not quite sure. So this is like very close to the chopping block right now, if you ask me. So this guy is going to go off next. Next up, you have your top 4 right here. We have here the 10 gram Santa Fe, we have the Para 3 lightweight, we have the Benchmade Bugout, and then we have the Civivi Rustic Gen. It's my second Civivi. I had the Civivi McKenna. Really like that knife. It's a front flipper frame lock, front flipper liner lock. If that Civivi had came out with like a 440C, 9CR, 18 MOV, something more stainless than D2, I would have kept that knife and I would not have sold it. But came out in D2. I value corrosion resistance more than toughness and edge retention right now. So as a result, that is sold. And then between all these 4 knives, the next one I would sell is this guy. This guy, so far I really like it, probably because it's the newest knife in my collection, so I'm still in the honeymoon period. Very nice ergonomics. It kind of fits into the hand very nice and comfortably. It has a really good fit and finish, with one exception, which I already mentioned about. This is one of the thinnest behind the edge knives I've ever had. Possibly the thinnest. It's also the only hollow ground knife I have. It comes with a very thin blade stock, and then with the hollow ground, it's extremely thin. And on top of that, this knife probably has the most blood on its blade, and all the blood is my blood. Better my blood than anyone else's blood, right? But if I were to make a sell right now, I would sell this guy and keep these 3. And then what you have here, and I would sell the slip as well. Although I like the slip. The slip, if I could keep the slip, I would keep the slip. Now, that leads to the top 3. Now, if I sound a little bit funny, it's because I have an ulcer on my tongue, which is causing me to like, it's causing the tongue to swell up a little bit, and hence the slurring. So, my top 3: 10 gram Santa Fe, Spyderco Para 3 lightweight, and we have the Benchmade Bugout. So, what do we have here? We have here a liner lock. Let's talk about what I love about this guy right here. I really love the blade shape. Fantastic blade shape. A lot flat, shallow belly, nice pointy tip. Also one of the sharpest knife I've ever gotten. This guy is, I think, just as sharp as this guy right here, and it's also just as sharp as the Civivi McKenna. I think both knives, all 3 of these knives are just shy of being as sharp as this guy right here. But I really like this blade shape because it's great for these kind of pull cuts. It's great for any kind of rocking cuts right here because it does not have a flipper tab along the way as well. So you can get almost all the blade onto the cutting board. You have here a thumb stud, a very well done thumb stud, which I really like. You have good access to the thumb studs on both sides. You have some nice scalloping down here, you can get it on both sides. Nice and simple liner lock. Another thing I really like about this is that to disassemble it, you only need one T8 Torx bit to unscrew this, and it comes out easily, comes in properly. Very simple to put it back together. Good tolerance, no gapping whatsoever, non-free spinning pivot. Just overall, I honestly believe this is the best budget knife there is out there, even better than the Rat 2s. Next up, Para 3 lightweight. What do I like about this? We have the FRN. Very nice FRN handles, very nice matte finish. You have amazing ergonomics. All these finger grooves right here fit really well in the hand. You have a good blade steel CTS BD1N, which is very stain resistant, pretty good in terms of wear resistance and toughness. Kind of, I'm not sure about the toughness, although I have chipped the edge right here, but that is it falling down onto the floor. I accidentally dropped it, so I can't blame the knife there. The best thing about this is that the fidgeability factor is off the charts compared to these two. It's like you can flick it open, you can thumb flick it open, and it's just a simple press, almost like a button lock, but this is a compression lock, of course. But you can just squeeze here and then it just disengages and then it closes down. Really love that. Every time I carry a different knife, let's say I carry my ZT, or I carry my my Kershaw Launch 10 or whatever, when I come back to this knife, I always go like, oh my god, I really miss this knife. Every time I carry a different knife, I come back to this knife and I feel good again. I feel like, oh wow, I really miss carrying this knife. Next up, Benchmade Bugout. The most expensive of the knives here. You can buy this and still have some extra money for the Benchmade Bugout. What do we have here? You have a mid-tier steel, which is a S30V steel right here. Very nice coating. You have the best thumb stud I've ever had. You know, it gives good grip, but it's not gonna cut into your fingers or into your thumbnails. It's just nice and smooth. We have a non-free spinning pivot. The axis lock, the fabled axis lock, a true axis lock. Unlike this guy, this is using the same technology because the pattern has finished, but this is what a real axis lock feels like, which is very, very nice. I love the texture of the groovery scales right here. Although this has the same problem as this guy, which is it has sharp insides right here. This guy even a little bit more than this guy. Nice deep carry pocket clip. Just amazing design and style overall. Okay, so I am just stalling right here because I'm not sure which one I'm gonna push out first. Whether I want the budget option, the amazing day-to-day option, or just the other amazing day-to-day option. So I'm going to talk about what annoys me the most between all 3. That kind of helps you decide, right, which one you do not like the most. And between all these 3, the one I do not like, I love all 3, but the one I don't like the most, or the one I like the least, is the Bugout, which is surprising to me because this Bugout is one of the most impressive out-of-the-box knives I've ever gotten. It is a knife that it is one of the standards in the EDC community, but there are a few things that just kind of annoy me just a little bit too much that it would have me favor these 2 over this guy. Number 1 is the pocket clip. Now, I like a deep carry pocket clip, which this has. The mini deep carry pocket clip is nice, with the exception of it's actually very stiff. This guy has a spring. This guy springs as well. This guy, it has a spring, but it's just a little bit too stiff for my personal preference. Another thing is that it doesn't have a little cutout for the thumb studs right here. So thumb studs ergonomics is kind of a little bit out, but that's just such a big nitpick because I've had no problem with the thumb studs. Another thing that I don't particularly, or one of the things that kind of would stress me out a little bit is that the disassembly and the reassembly of a Benchmade axis lock is it's a little bit more difficult than these other guys right here. And these are just nitpicks because if this is at 100%, this is probably at 99%. That is the difference we're talking here. But if you had to put a gun to my head, which one would I sell of these three? I'll sell this guy first, and knowing like the world and the market, this will sell really quick as well. So we come to the finals of my knife collection selling video, which is the same final as my video in January. So the outcome is going to be the same. Love this guy. A lot of things that are good about this guy, with the exception of a lot of things I love about these two. A lot of things I like about it similarly. It has nice scales, amazing pocket clip, non-free spinning pivots. This guy's a little bit easy to take apart because everything is T8. To take this guy apart, you have a T10 right here, T8 and a T6. But the one thing that edges this guy out from this guy is the compression lock. I love the compression lock. I've never tried a button lock. I can't wait to try the ProTech Malibu, because I suspect it'll be even nicer than this guy. But it is the fidgetability factor of this locking mechanism that wins it over this guy. In terms of size in the pocket, even though these guys are just a little bit wider, for some reason, I don't know why, when you put this into the pocket, it just hides really well. And that is it, guys. My July which knife would I keep from my collection has the same result as the my January video, and that's just a testament to how well designed this Para 3 lightweight is from Spyderco. In fact, I'm kind of toying with the idea to get the regular Para 3, the G10 one in all black, and then get some custom G10 OD green scales for it. Okay guys, do let me know in the description down below, between all my knives, which one do you like the most and which one will you keep. And thanks guys, stay ready.